Welcome back to another episode of DIY Solar Energy. Today we're going to be talking about e-bike batteries. So first of all, I've got an ONWAY 36 volt e-bike battery, and I have a Rattan 48 volt e-bike battery. So I want to tear one of these apart and show you what's going on. Well, I'm going to do a rebuild of the Rattan battery, so I'll set that aside for now. Alright, so in going over this ONWAY e-bike battery, let's see here. And yeah, so it's about halfway charged. But, so this particular e-bike battery, this e-bike battery has an on and off right on the battery itself. So technically, if we turn this off, now we should get no juice. And we do. But here's what I want to open up to you. This e-bike battery has a fuse here and a fuse here. So yeah, I've opened this up to break the seal because it was a pain to get to the battery. But I put it back together for the video. We're going to tear it all apart, show you what's on the inside. Okay, so now let's tear into this battery and see what's going on. By the way, while I'm here, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Let's see, right there. Yeah, click it for me. And if you want to be notified, click that notification bell and give me a thumbs up. The thumbs up definitely helps out the YouTube algorithms. That way I can build my channel up a little bit. And make sure to watch till the end for the giveaway information. We have a big giveaway going on, and once I hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a big package, so watch till the end. Okay, so let's get started on tearing this battery pack open. So now that we have the fuses out of the way at least, let's turn this battery pack on. And let's see. We still have light with the fuses removed. Alright, turn it off and let's get the big tools out. To note, you have 4 screws, 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top on the front and the back of the ONWAYs. There is one other thing to note on the ONWAY batteries. You have 2 different size screws. The shorter screws will be on the back, the one that does not have the handle. So as you can see, they're 2 different sizes. Make sure you take note of that. And here's a piece of foam. On the inside, I'll show a picture right here, but it was filled full of this white silicone, which was pretty good. So let's take this connector apart right here. And let me go ahead and mention while I'm in here, these are lithium batteries. Please be very careful with these. These are extremely dangerous. And on the front you have 2 foam pads. So make sure you remove those. And it would slide forward. Okay, so now we have the 36 volt, 10.4 amp hour e-bike battery cell out. Now, one thing to note, And I will zoom in for this. Well, here is one fuse. Well, there's the positive and there's the negative, and nothing is connected. Now, what you can't see, I'll try to get down there to it. Let me find a pointy. Metal is probably not the best thing, but right down here you'll see that white glob. That's the other fuse over here, and it is not connected either. So this ONWAY battery has zero protection. So that is very, very scary, knowing that you have no type of fusing that is connected whatsoever. Yeah, no wires going to the fuse. You have your charging plug here, and make sure you use the correct charger for these particular e-bikes. If you overcharge them, it can be very dangerous. You have your locking mechanism here, which activates and deactivates the BMS. You have your light and power panel right here. As you see, it's off, the key's out, and we're still showing power. So yeah, all right, let's get some of the bench cleaned off here and see if we can't get into this battery pack. As you can see, the glue and everything. All right, so I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't do, and always, please don't do what I'm about to do. This is only for experimental purposes and to show you all what's inside of an e-bike battery. I am going to take a knife, but I'm going to trim very carefully. And this particular battery has some glue around the bottom here, and it looks like we have some protection. So I'm going to come in right here with a little bit of a sharp knife where I can cut right on the edge and see if I can start cutting where I know is a safe area to cut on this particular battery. Again, don't do this at home. This is for experimental purposes. So now I can start peeling this heat shrink away. Now let's see if we can get our big stick of foam insulator off of here. Alright, so we did get it off. And all this little padding here, I've got more to put back on there, so I'm not too worried about that. Now, let's see. Be very careful with all of these wires up front. And your e-bike battery may be a little bit different than this particular bike battery, but somewhat of the same concept across the board on a lot of the e-bike batteries. Wait till you see me do the Reassembly battery. I will rebuild that battery, which is over here off camera. Alright, physically looking here, we are encased in a protective shield here. Everything's quite sealed up, which is good. We do have Kapton tape sealing everything off. See if we can get into this particular battery a little bit deeper. And it is making a mess out of my bench. It's actually recommended to use a non-metal tool when working with lithium. I've opened up so many of these e-bike batteries here lately that I kind of know where to go, but it's still not safe even for me. So we're just going to take all of these parts and set them off camera for now, so we can get into this case. Now I could cut off all of this Kapton tape, but it's best to peel it off, that way you don't have any of it left. Okay, so here we've got some glue holding on this, so it was not cut through, and you can see right here, see if I can give you a zoom in on that. You can see where it was pinched, where it was sitting like this and cutting into the wires. So that will go back, and then we'll have a notch for it, and I'll put a rubber insulator around that. And same thing over here, exact same thing over here. This is not safe. A little bit of bouncing around and it cuts into these wires and they short out together. That's a bad day. Okay. So we appeared to have a fiber board. Yeah, that's a fiber board. You can see the little fibers in it. And a sticky, tacky fiber board. And you can see that this right here appears to be a bottom. Be very careful while pulling these off. You'll see that as I'm pulling, you'll see it pulling the BMS leads or monitoring leads. Alrighty. And what do we have here? We do see an all silicone wire. It is a 16 gauge 200C. Not sure if you can read that or not. 16 gauge 200C. So it is a silicone wire. Now it's all of it silicone. Okay. Be careful where this stuff goes and where you're setting stuff. So we do have a BMS. See if we can get some information on this BMS. Unfortunately, no information on the BMS. Do we have a temperature sensor? We do not have a temperature sensor on here at all, but there is, well, at least we do have a 30 amp fuse in here. So that still only protects the output power, because this is the socket that goes into the e-bike. So if it pulls more than 30 amps, it will pop that. And it looks like it may have a place for a temperature probe or a thermistor. Okay, I got one of my flukes out, so I'm going to go from positive over here to negative, which is oddly, not even on this. They're both on the same side, not even opposite sides. 37.6. So it says 3.7 volts on the cells. So let's open up these cells and see what brand they are. They definitely don't look like Samsung's. Okay. INR 18650P. No other brand name. Just some knockoff Chinese cells. Any other brand name on here? So it looks like here it says 3.7 volts, 9.62 watt hours, INR 18650P, 26H, which I'm speculating to be 26 milliamp hour, CAH017102, B as in Bravo, V as in Victor. They could be a Molly brand. Not quite sure. But this kind of gives you an understanding of what's on the inside of an e-bike battery. Let's go back to the charge plug right here. So here's the ground going directly into the BMS. Okay, so now the positive goes out. Well, let's take this right here apart. So let's see here. Maybe we need to unlock it here. All right. So that activates the BMS. Well, so the positive does go down to this fuse. And this fuse is a 5 amp 250 volt. So 5 amp 250 volt. Yep, 5 amp 250 volt. And the brand on it is, looks like a C6 5TEP, and it shows CE and ROS compliant. So maybe that is a good ceramic fuse. So we do have some fusing with charging. So now let's go get the charger and see exactly what is going on with the charger. Okay, so we got the charger here. We got ONWAY. And I apologize, the lighting is really bright. But we're showing a DC output of 2 amps at 36 plus volts with 100 to 240 volts AC in. And there's your charger plug. Yes, it looks like an XLR plug for a microphone, but that's what they use. So, and that's a SCH 8100L charger. So now we know that we do have fusing for charge. So charge comes in on the positive side. We are fused. Wait. Yep. And okay. So now the purpose of this would be to should be able to turn the BMS on and off so it can't be used. So currently it is on unlocked. It is actually on off now. Let's see if we get any juice to the battery. See if the battery's outputting any voltage. Well, we can just go right here, just make it easy. So that is no voltage. So let's go over here. If I can do this with one hand, so the off switch does work. Perfect. So it does turn the BMS off. But we don't know is if it actually stops the charging on it. So let's go check and see. Now currently we have it on. Let me stick my probes back down in here. And it is currently off. And we'll flop it over to on. Okay, 37.7. So now we're going to turn it off and we're going to hook in the charger. And the charger shows charging. So let's find out. Is the charger actually charging? Well, the BMS is turned off. So if we go here and here, 37.8. Now, let's turn this on. 37.7, 37.8. And our charger still shows. Let's see if I can get the charger in play here that you guys can see. And then it's going to cover that up. Let's see if I can zoom out some. So we have a green light and a red light. For red shows power on, green shows charged. So it's saying that the charge is green, showing that it is good. So I guess we'd need to run down that EBIKE to be able to tell. So let's go ahead and start putting this back together the proper way and get it back in its case. And I will do a time lapse of this to make things a little bit quicker, but if I see something that I need to show you all, I will. So let's get started. Alright, so as you see before, we as YouTubers, we make mistakes too. As I was heating up the other shrink wrap, these ends came off, so I cut it off and put the ends back on it, as you see here, and I also put a bunch of Kapton tape on both ends and made sure the wires are not getting pinched anywhere. And I cut the shrink wrap a little bit longer. So let's redo this, and I'll put this in a time lapse for you all, so you can see here. Okay, that's a lot better. It's still very hot, so what I'll do is I'll let the batteries cool down, and I'll stick some Kapton tape Now this is just an example of how you can open up your e-bike battery and rebuild it. My next video will be a full teardown of the Rattan battery, which is off camera over here. By the way, while I'm here, have you clicked that subscribe button right here? Can you click it for me? Give me a thumbs up. I should appreciate it. And while we're here and we start the process of putting this battery back together, I want to go ahead and notate to you all about the big giveaway we got going on. Once I hit 100,000 subscribers, I will be giving away I'll be giving away 272 to 280 amp hour 16S LiPo 4, either a Batrium BMS or a diyBMS, a Victron solar charge controller. It would be a smart charge controller. Maybe a shunt, like an ABB shunt. Of course, the batteries will have a bus bar with it. Also, we're probably might throw in some panels and a inverter. Of course, this would be a 48-volt system, including all the wiring. Depends on how things go. You know, once we get to 100,000 subscribers, I'll do a drawing of every subscriber. All you have to do is like this video, share it, and subscribe. Subscribing is what gets you entered into the giveaway. So make sure you subscribe and share. The quicker we get to 100,000 subscribers, the quicker I will do the giveaway. Every person will get entered into the giveaway. And if you go out and buy a t-shirt, which you can't see, but I'm wearing it. If you go out and buy a t-shirt, it will give you an additional 5 entries. So, not trying to push my merchandise by no means, but if you go out and buy a t-shirt, I don't have that much of a markup on it at all. So if you buy a t-shirt, I'll give you, what the heck, I'll give you an additional 10 entries to the giveaway for every piece of merch you buy. Even if it's a sticker, I will give you 10 entries. So the merch link is right up here on the YouTube header, and I'll also put it down in the comments. So let's get this back together. there we are, 37.7 volts without the glare. 37.8. So we have officially rebuilt our e-bike battery, and it is good to go. Now I would recommend getting some silicone caulk and siliconing the battery back in there so that way it doesn't vibrate or anything. But one most important thing is we got our fake fuse and our real fuse. So the little fuse is for your charging, and the fake fuse is, well, for nothing. There we go. So now I will take this back apart, put some grommets around those wires on the front and back of the battery, and put some silicone caulk around it to keep it inside. Make sure I put the insulators back, or these really don't do anything. I'm not for sure why they're there, but I'll silicone the battery so it stays in spot and it's safe. So for now, I thank you all for watching the ONWAY e-bike battery opening and tear down and show you what it's about. The next one will be a lot more intuitive with this rattan battery that is 48 volt, 557 watt hours, and it says it's 11,600 milliamp hours. So that'd be 11.6 amp hours. I know what batteries are in here. I've redone this battery one time, but I'm going to do a major upgrade. I've got a company that's going to be sending me some batteries for this particular one, sell to upgrade. So as soon as they get here, I'll record that. And I was actually discussing last night with Kev Central what would be the best way to do this, since he's the bike guy. But after discussion, I was like, well, why don't we do a live viewing or a live video of me unboxing or opening up this particular battery and show what it's all about. Then I'll do a video on how to rebuild it, and then do a live of assembling it, putting it back together and testing it in a e-bike. So I'm not for sure how I'll test it live, but we'll see if we can come up with that in the next feed. So again, thank you for sticking around and watching the ONWAY e-bike battery opening and assembly and tear down and assembly. And make sure you like and subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you think. I'm learning. Again, thank you all for watching DIY Solar Energy. Take care. See you on the next one.